From playing in the Championship to becoming a £100 million player in just a couple of seasons, Viktor Gyökeres is regarded as one of the best strikers on the planet right now, and a transfer to the Premier League feels imminent. But why does everybody want him, and where should he go? But before we look at that, we need to take a step back and look at how he went from second division English football to becoming one of the most sought after players on the planet. Viktor Gyökeres really started to make a name for himself in the Championship, where he accumulated an impressive 60 goal contributions in 116 games, where he displayed early signs of his precision, aggression and power, also leading Coventry to the Championship playoff final in his last season for the club. And it looked like he was going to jump at the chance of playing in the Premier League, but he caught the eye of none other than Sporting Lisbon. Gyökeres gambled on the Portuguese league, and you could say it paid off. But would a player they signed from the second division of English football be any good? With the £20 million price tag, fans were intrigued to see the Swedish forward in action. But he hit the ground running, and life at Sporting Lisbon was a breeze from the get-go for Viktor Gyökeres. He scored a brace for the club against Vizela on his debut, and just a couple months into his debut season, he scored his first hat-trick for the club against Paranese. He more than exceeded expectations of fans in Portugal. His instant success wasn't just down to individual brilliance, but the quality of his manager, Ruben Amorim. Gyökeres and Amorim build a great relationship, and Ruben believes in Viktor, putting his full faith and confidence in him. But not just as a goal scorer, he wants Gyökeres to lead the line with power and cause nothing but hell for defenders. Under Amorim, he isn't just grabbing goals, he's setting up plays, creating chances and providing assists for the team, making him an all-round striker with clinical finishing abilities, but also playing for his team. Gyökeres is loving life at Sporting, boasting his personal qualities while dominating defenders with his sheer power and relentlessness. Now the name Viktor Gyökeres is lit up on the world stage, where he continued to impress throughout the season as a creative playmaker, being able to move the ball progressively, all while being ice cold in front of goal, finishing the season with 43 goals and 15 assists. And maybe people thought that incredible season was just a one-off. Nope. He started the season as he ended the last one. 30 goals and 7 assists, and we are in November. He scored a hat-trick when Sporting shocked the world in a 4-1 win over Manchester City in the Champions League. But it wasn't just his goals that caught my eye. Remember, he likes to create chances for his teammates, and he had a huge involvement in the second goal, even though he didn't even touch the ball. Watch this. Look how he pulls the City defenders away to create space that led to that goal. Even his movement off the ball is absolutely impeccable. And to create chances and make plays, not even touching the ball, unreal. His football intelligence seems to be out of this world. His movement, his vision of the game for a striker is very, very impressive. And he's also just got 4 goals for Sweden, and I know it was only against Azerbaijan, but this boy cannot be stopped. By the way, I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers before the new year, so if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. And a move to the Premier League feels imminent, but who wants him and why? Going off multiple sources and the talk of the internet, he could be the missing piece to Arsenal's puzzle. His creative playmaking, progression with the ball, and the potential of linking up with Saka and Odegaard seems like the perfect fit for Arteta's free-flowing football. Supposedly Chelsea want him, but I mean, who hasn't Chelsea wanted? It could be an option, but I just can't see them going in for Viktor Gyökeres, considering they have Jackson, Nkunku, João Felix. But of course there's an option that's so obvious it's almost slapping you in the face. Manchester United. Linking up with the manager that shaped him into the monster he is today. I'm sorry, it just makes so much sense. Ruben knows him, Viktor knows what's expected of him, how to play and the attitude towards the game. But I think Amorim, to have a player come in that he knows well, to set an example of how to press, how to play, what's expected as a player for Amorim is a great thing to have, especially in that striker role where they've struggled for so long. I mean, they bought Xerxes and let's be honest, he's pretty underwhelming. Apparently Erik ten Hag didn't even want him, and Højlund, obviously you could make use of Højlund, but I think Viktor Gyökeres is just too obvious to say no to. And of course there'll be people saying he'll flop, those numbers in Portugal don't mean anything when you step up to the big leagues and it's just Portugal. Which, I understand that claim, I get that, because Bas Dost did similar numbers and got his big move to Frankfurt and only managed 12 goals in 36 games. Slimani made the £30 million move to Leicester after bagging 27 times in just 33 games for Sporting. He arrived in the Premier League and scored 8 goals in 40 games. It's not an easy leap and players have struggled, but Viktor Gyökeres is different. The Champions League performances, a hat-trick against Manchester City, is performing really well for Sweden. His power, physicality and aggression on the pitch is on another level. He can just brush past defenders like they're thin air. And I also think that the Portuguese league has improved a lot since those players made them big moves, and he did well in the Championship for Coventry. You can't ignore that. Whichever big club Viktor Gyökeres ends up at, I'm sure they'll be paying close to 100 million or even 100 million, which would be pretty standard for a player with these kind of numbers. I mean, he's only 26 and everything he seems to touch just ends up in the back of the net. But what makes him so good? Well, if you want to ignore his crazy goal records, at 6'2", he may seem a bit slim at first glance, but as soon as that ball touches his feet, he explodes with surprising pace and ability, and for such a big guy, he can move quick and elegantly. And his size and strength gives him the ability to just bully defenders. But then he has another trait. With his fast footwork, he can dribble through defenders, creating his own chances. And on the other hand, if he is expecting a ball in the box, he has that killer instinct to finish the chance. And having such a wide range of ability gives him adaptability, which makes him very useful to a manager. And I'm sorry, but that celebration is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. It is one of my favourite celebrations ever. I have no idea what it means. I don't know if it's a reference to Bane in Batman. It's just sick. I know it sounds stupid, but it's pretty iconic. But he's like a manager's dream come true. So many different ways you can utilise him, and in doing so, it gives you a greater tactical advantage against your opponent. And it makes him so unique because there are very few strikers on the planet that possess all these qualities and have them at such a high level. And look, let's put our feet in the shoes of a manager. One game, you've got a tough game. You stay in the box, wait for the ball to come into you, we'll create the chances, you just need to finish them off. But on another game, it might be run at defenders, dribble past defenders, give them hell, show them power, run at them and see what happens, create your own chances. That's what makes him so unique. And as well, I think some players just have this wow factor. I mean, I know it sounds pretty odd, but like, his name is like a really standout name. It sticks in your mind. His celebration, it's iconic. His stature, he's a big guy. He scores goals. I think he just has the image. Teams and managers are really buy into that. And I think that 100 million may come quite cheap because I think he'll hit the ground running in the Premier League just like he did in Sporting. Every time he plays, it looks like he's wanting to prove himself even more and show that he's better than this and he can do better. And he's doing so. Look at the numbers he's putting up. It's insane. And that is why absolutely everybody wants Viktor Gyökeres. But I want to know what you think down below in the comments. Do you think he'll end up in the Premier League? And if so, where at? And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button. And while you're down there, subscribe. It helps me massively. Remember, I'm trying to hit 500 before the new year. But if you want to hear why Marcus Rashford's career has been a failure, click here and I'll catch you there.